Hello.
Hi.
My name is Andrew. I'll be taking you through your IELTS test. And can you please tell me your name?
So my name is Minh. Châu is quite a long name, but you can call me Châu.
Fantastic. Châu. What we're going to do now is we're just going to go through part one and we'll cover some general questions, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you tell me how long have you been learning English?
Well, I've learned English for a long time. I think it's when I was 4. I started to learn in an English center in my kindergarten.
Okay, fantastic. And may I ask, do you have any future plan after school?
Well, up to now, I think I attempt to graduate the high school first, and I think I want to learn some about the social media in the future. But I haven't decided what I want to learn in, like, I don't know what the universe I want to study.
Okay. And follow up, do you think English will help you in your future career?
Yes, a lot. Now, as I know, like English is the thing that helps you to communicate with other foreigners. That can help a lot of your career, especially the social media. What I want to learn in the future.
Okay, fantastic. And can I ask you, what skills would you like to improve in English?
Well, I think it's the writing skill and the reading skill. Because my vocabulary is quite, it's not too good for me to speak or writing, and I have some wrong in my grammars to try.
Very good. And to follow up, it's okay. Those are all things that you can fix in time, or at least work on. We're going to talk about where you live, so provide any information about these questions you like. Can you tell me, what is your dream house?
Well, I haven't think it a lot, like too much, but I think I want to live in a modern but a basic house, like with the tone white or black, with some trees. Yes, like this.
Great, fantastic. And may I ask you, what is your neighborhood like? Do you like it?
Yes. Now I play and communicate with my neighbor, and they are so friendly and they are very nicely. When I ask for something or I need help, or when my parents absent from home, they will help me some dinner.
Okay, right, thank you. Can you tell me, do you live in a house or an apartment?
I'm living in a house now in a wonderful urban area.
Okay, fantastic. And can I ask you a question? Do you think you will live in another country in the future?
Well, I think for like I have think it like I used to want to live in Germany, but I learned German, but it's quite hard for me, and so now I'm going to live in Hanover in the near future.
Okay, interesting. What we're going to do now is I'm going to ask you 1 or 2 more questions and then we're going to move on to the next part. Do you use any apps to help you learn English?
Yes, I think the most common I use is the T-flat. It's an English dictionary that helps me a lot when I do the reading exams, or I go to the apps and search the word that I don't know things about that word, like it's noun or verb, or the structure that used in some situation. And I think it's quite like useful for me.
Okay, fantastic. What we're going to do now is we're going to move on to part 2. So for part 2, you get to we're going to talk about, for part 2, you're going to talk on your own for 1 to 2 minutes, but before that, you will have 1 minute to prepare some notes before speaking. Okay? What I'm going to do first is I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll go over it for a second time, and I will show it to you. Okay? So no need to write anything yet. So I want you to describe a book that you enjoyed reading because it made you think a lot. You should say what this book was. 2, why you decided to read it. 3, what reading this book made you think about. And finally, explain why you enjoyed it. So here we go. We'll go through it one more time. So, describe a book that you enjoyed reading because you had to think a lot. You should say what this book was, why you decided to read it, what reading this book made you think about. Finally, explain why you enjoyed reading this book. Right, you have 1 minute to prepare. Alright, time's up. Okay, now you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk on your own. Okay, so you may begin.
Well, I like to study the literature, so I've read a lot of books, but there was a book, romantic books that I read. I have a lot of impressive of it. The name is the white olive trees. It's a romantic book talk about the love of couples, and they meet each other in the war in Siberia. So beside the romantic beside their romance, the book has a reality of the war, and it shows the people's life when the old or the children are in poverty, and in that couples are have met in the situation that is not too good. But after that, the woman have to go to another side of the country that they had been live far away, and the man is a police that he had been in a bad situation, so that they cannot meet together, meet each other, and like after the war, the woman can find her husband, and like after all, and they meet together, and like have two babies. But because of the consequence of the war, the man has like he died.
Alright, thank you very much. What we're going to do is going to stop there, and we're going to move to part 3. So for part 3, we're just going to have a quick discussion, and it'll be an extension of part 2. Okay? So I have a follow-up question for you on the topic. Okay, so you've talked about your favorite book. In the past, in the last part of the test, you're going to discuss related topics. So what we're going to do first is we're going to discuss electronic books. Okay? So how popular are electronic books in your country?
Well, there's not too common for Vietnamese to use electronic books. But now I think they like to use the paper books. Because like the electronic books, when it's sold in Vietnam, it's quite expensive. Not too many people spend the money to buy it. So I think it's like the electronic book is not too famous for the Vietnamese people.
Okay, follow-up question. Do you think electronic books will ever completely replace traditional printed books?
In the future, I think it's yes, because now in the online website, it had a lot of online books that people can go to that website and read it instead of buying it. And also now they have a Kindle or like some device that you can download the books and read on it.
Absolutely, very interesting. Yeah. So my last question for you is, what are the most popular types of children's books in your country?
I think I saw my sister and brother had read the book, some children books like who I forgot its name, but it's about the situation.
Okay, let's just stop there. All right.